My next story is an old English tale. It's over 5,000 years old, so most of you probably know it. It's called Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, by the way, it's not about me. It's about another boy called Jack, so I'm not 5,000 years old at all. So stop saying that. Anyway, once upon a time, a long time ago, there lived Jack and his mother. They lived with their one cow, Milky White, in a cottage, somewhere or other, I forget where. Anyway, one day, poor Milky White discovered that she could give no milk, which was horrible because Milky White was the family income. Jack and his mum basically depended on her to make them money by making the Milky Bars that she sold when she gave them milk. "What on earth are we going to do?" said Jack's mother. "Without Milky White, we'll have no food, we won't be able to pay the bills." "Don't worry, Mother, I'll get a job," said Jack. But he tried this before, several times, and, well, he'd mostly lost them after a few days. "No," said his mother, "it's no good. We'll have to sell poor old Milky White. You must take her to the market on Tuesday and sell her for whatever price you can get." And so, one bright sunny Tuesday morning, Jack put a rope round Milky White's neck, and they set off together down the road, over the bridge, toward the market. They were just about to enter the market when they met a little old man. "Where are you off to, Jack?" said the old man. "I'm taking this old cow to market," said Jack. "It's funny," said Jack. "I thought you... Oh, never mind. I see what you mean now, yes. Well, let me see. That's a fine beast you have there. Tell me, do you know how many beans make 5? 2 in each hand and 1 in the mouth," responded Jack, "as quick as you like." "Very good," said the old man. "You deserve a bit of luck. So I'll swap these beans for your cow." "That doesn't seem a very fair deal to me," said Jack, and he was about to tell the old man to get stuffed when the old man said, "But these are magic beans. Plant them at dawn, and by the morning you'll have the biggest bean plant you ever seen." Now remember what I said. Plant them, and you'll have a big beanstalk by the dawn. And so Jack went back home with the 5 beans in his pocket, and the old man disappeared and was never seen again. Jack was very excited by the time he got home, and his mother saw the big smile on his face. "Well done, Jack," she said when she saw Milky White wasn't with him. "How much did you get for her?" "You'll never guess, Mother." Jack's mother was so excited she couldn't be bothered to guess. "Come on, Jack," she said. "Show me how much you got for the cow." Jack produced the beans and gave them to his mother. First, she was speechless. Then she was furious. "We are desperate for money, Jack, and now you've given away our cow for 5 silly beans!" With that, she threw the beans out of the window, boing, 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 down into the garden. Jack tried to tell his mum that they were magic beans, but she said he was a nasty little liar, smacked his bottom, and sent him to bed without any supper. The next morning, Jack woke up and wondered why it was so dark outside. He couldn't see the sun or anything. Then he realised why. Because outside his window was the biggest beanstalk he'd ever seen. Jack wasted no time. He knew what he must do. He climbed out of the window and started to climb up the beanstalk. Up and up he went, higher and higher, until he saw a long, long road with one lonely little cottage at the edge of the road. Now, by this time, Jack was pretty hungry. He hadn't had any supper, remember, so he knocked on the cottage door. "Hello," he said, "I'm a wandering minstrel. Could I have some breakfast, please?" "I'm the Duke of Cornwall," said the man sarcastically, and shut the door in Jack's face. So Jack went along the road a bit more. He walked, he walked, he walked, and he walked a bit more, until he saw the most enormous castle before him. This castle was so big, you couldn't actually see the chimney. It was way up in the clouds. Jack thought about knocking on the door, but there was nobody about. In the courtyard, there was just an old stable and an old bucket. Then he saw in the doorway of the castle the most enormous woman he'd ever seen. She made giant haystacks look like Jimmy Clitheroe. "Good morning," cried Jack. "Could you give me some breakfast, please?" "Give you some breakfast?" cried the old woman. "My husband will have you for breakfast if he comes home and finds you here. There's nothing he likes more than a tasty little boy." But Jack didn't care about husbands or being eaten or anything. He was too hungry. "Oh, go on," he said. "Just a little something and I'll be on my way." Now, the giant's wife wasn't a bad old sort, so she gave Jack some bread and cheese. But before Jack had even finished it, the whole castle began to shake with the enormous footsteps of the husband coming home. "Quick!" cried the giant's wife. "You better get out of sight! You can hide in the fireplace!" And in came the giant himself, who was obviously the big woman's husband. He was at least 24 feet tall, and underneath his arms he carried 3 cows.
"Here we are,"
he said in a very giantish voice.
"I've just been out to get my breakfast."
But before the giant's wife could respond, the giant threw back his head and sniffed the air. Then he began to bellow. Not all that loudly, actually, but loud enough for a giant.
"Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll have his bones to make my bed."
"You mean grind your bread, dear?"
"Oh, yes, I do. Sorry, dear,"
said the giant, and the giant and his wife laughed happily. Then the giant put the cows into the oven and sat down in his favourite chair. Jack, meanwhile, cowered in the fireplace. The giant was served the 3 cows on an enormous giant plate with an enormous barrel of beer, and he ate them all in 30 seconds flat. Then he said to his wife, "Now then, dear, if it's not too much trouble, will you bring me my gold, please? I want to count it." So the giant's wife brought the giant his gold. "There you are, dear," she said. "I told you there was no little boy." "I know. Sorry, dear," said the giant, and began to count. "Now then, let's see. 1, 3, no, 2, 5... And then, before Jack knew what was happening, the table began to shake. And he realised what was happening. The giant had fallen asleep and was snoring loudly. It sounded like 3 sacks of potatoes being emptied onto a loft floor. Jack crept out of the fireplace. And while the giant's wife was in the living room, seeing what was on ITV that morning, Jack took the bag of gold. Then he crept out of the castle and ran down the beanstalk as fast as he could. His mother was very worried by now. She felt sorry that she'd told Jack off and not given him any supper. When she saw the gold, she felt even sorrier. "Where on earth did you get all that gold?" she asked, and Jack told her the whole story. Well, the gold lasted a while, and Jack and his mother lived very freely, but eventually, as gold does, it ran out. So Jack proceeded up the beanstalk once more. He didn't go to the cottage this time or knock on the door because he knew what the horrid man had said to him. Besides, it wasn't there this time. He thought perhaps the giant had eaten it when he got peckish one morning. So he got to the giant's castle in good time. "Hello again," said the giant's wife. "It's strange, on the morning you was last here, a bag of my husband's gold went missing." But Jack denied all knowledge of this and said he'd slipped away when the giant was busy with his breakfast, and the giant's wife believed him. You're looking honest, lad. All right, come in." But this time, Jack didn't even get the chance to have anything to eat, because the whole castle began to shake with the giant's footsteps. Jack knew what to do. He ran into the fireplace, and in came the giant, with 3 enormous chip shops under each arm, with chips and staff all inside. Well, the giant's wife was pleased, because it meant she didn't have to cook anything, because the chips were still hot, and the giant proceeded to eat them all, one after the other. Then he sniffed the air once the chip smell had gone, and began to bellow again.
"Fee, fi, fo, fat. What the blinking hell is that? Be I alive or be I Keats? I can smell some English feet."
No, dear," said the giant's wife. "That's just the fish from them chips. It smelt a bit funny to me." "Oh, you're probably right, dear," said the giant. "Tell you what, get that hen out of the cupboard. She's not laid me any golden eggs for at least a fortnight. If she doesn't lay any this time, stick her in the pot and we'll have her for dinner." So the giant's wife fetched an enormous hen out of the cupboard. This hen was the size of a cocker spaniel. She sat on the table, and the giant said, "Lay." And then, without warning, the hen laid a golden egg. The giant said, "Lay," again, and the hen laid another golden egg. This went on about 6 times. Then the giant got bored of golden eggs and fell asleep, making rumbly indigestion-y noises, while Jack crept out of the fireplace and, with difficulty, because the hen was so large, took it off the table. The giant's wife had gone upstairs because she remembered there was something important she had to do, but she couldn't remember what it was, so she had to look at the calendar. So Jack took the hen down the beanstalk. He would have made it scot-free, but the hen gave a loud cluck, and the giant woke up.
Where's my hen gone?
But it was too late. Jack was already halfway down the beanstalk, and the giant knew he had no chance of catching the thief. His mother, when Jack got back to the house, was none too pleased to see him with this giant hen. "How are we supposed to feed that?" said Jack's mother. "This seems like one of your silly schemes again." But Jack just put the hen down in the middle of the floor, because the table was too small for it, and said, "Lay," and the hen laid a golden egg. Jack's mother was delighted. With this clever magic hen, they need never worry about money ever again. But riches and parties and princesses got very boring for Jack. One more trip to the giant's castle, he told himself, and so off he went, up the beanstalk, along the long road, but this time he didn't seek out the giant's wife. He waited till she was in the stable, with the jockey and the horse. The jockey's name was Tim O'Tay. Anyway, Jack decided he would hide, this time in one of the pots on the table. By the way, the horse's name was Shampoo. Anyway, Jack stayed there in the pot on the table until he heard the footsteps of the giant. This time, the giant only had 1 cow under his arm. After the chip shop episode, he was on a diet because he wanted to run down the beanstalk fast, and he ate the cow in no time at all. "Wife," he said, "bring me my..." And then he stopped, and he sniffed the air and began to bellow. "Fee, fi, fo, feel. Something's making me feel ill. Be I alive or be I dead, or stove in his thieving head?" And Jack cowered and shook in the pan, and the giant's wife said, "Oh, if it's that cheeky little boy who took your golden hen, I know where he is, dear." And she ran straight to the fireplace. But of course Jack wasn't there.
"I know he's here somewhere," cried the giant, "and when I find him, I'm going to have him on toast for my breakfast. I'll do my giant's voice as well. Fee, fi."
"No, I won't," said the giant, and he sat down in his chair.
"Oh, dear. Oh, that cough's coming on again, wife. Bring me my magic harp to soothe it away."
So the giant's wife fetched a harp to the table, and the giant said,
"Sing."
And the giant sat back as the harp sang. On and on it went, until the giant, rather than being soothed, fell asleep. Well, the giant's wife had better things to do than listen to her husband snore all day, and she decided to go and read the Racing Post. Jack crept out of the pot on the table and picked up the magic harp. He was about to run off with it when the harp cried, "Master! Master!" The giant woke up with a start.
"What?"
he roared, and then he saw Jack running towards the door and made a run after him. Jack was very fast, but the giant was very fast as well.
"Come back with my harp,"
he roared, and when he shouted,
"I'll have your bones to make my bed. I mean, grind my bread. Oh, it doesn't matter what I mean. I'll have your bones, and I'll have your guts for garters, and your sausages with chips."
Oh, the giant was cross, but Jack was fast and not cross. He ran to the beanstalk and began to climb down, and as he reached the bottom, he shouted, "Mother! Mother! Bring the axe!" Jack's mother came out. She was terrified when she saw the giant's huge feet, and she was appalled at the smell as well. I mean, do giants actually wash their socks or what? Anyway, she gave the axe to Jack, and Jack put the harp gently down on the ground, and he cried, "Master! Master!" The giant swung his big body onto the beanstalk, and Jack thought, this is the end. But he took a great swing and a chop into the stalk of the beanstalk. Nothing happened. Jack swung and chopped again. This time, the stalk gave a shudder. With one final chop, Jack chopped the beanstalk down, and the giant fell down to the ground. And he landed so hard, he made an enormous hole in the ground where he fell. Unfortunately, there was no way the giant could survive a fall like that, and I'm afraid he died horribly and miserably. Jack and his mother didn't mind. To them, the hole was just the right size to build a magnificent palace, and Jack decided he would marry the princess he took a fancy to at the last ball, which is exactly what he did. The magic harp played at their wedding, and they all lived happily ever after. As for the giant's wife, well, she didn't much care that the giant was never coming home. It left her free to do all the things she enjoyed doing. And as for the jockey, well, who cares about him? I don't.